Before all things, there was stillness, a perfect pearl containing Anu. Anu was the sum of all, goodness, light, joy. Yet within this perfection, a discordant note, a shadow. This shadow was Tathamet, the dragon, born of Anu's discarded evils. 7 heads it had, a roaring abyss of pure hatred. Anu sought to cast out this darkness. A terrible battle began, a war within the cosmic heart, good against evil, light against shadow, hope against despair. This was the dawn of all conflict, a struggle that would echo through eternity. Their clash was cataclysmic. Anu and Tathamet. They fought with unimaginable power. Stars were born and died in their wake. The universe trembled. Neither could gain the upper hand, for they were 2 halves of the same whole. In a final, desperate act, they struck each other down. A blinding explosion. The universe screamed. From Anu's radiant spine, the Angiris Council formed. Angels of virtue, warriors of light, they would build the high heavens. A bastion against the coming darkness, a testament to order. From Tathamet's putrid corpse, the burning hells arose, a realm of endless torment, and from its 7 dying heads, 7 great evils were born. 3 were the most powerful, the prime evils, Mephisto, lord of hatred, Baal, lord of destruction, and Diablo, the youngest, the most cunning. Al Diabolos, the lord of terror, his essence a chilling scream, his purpose to spread fear, to drown all hope in an ocean of despair. He was born of pure, unadulterated dread. Diablo was unique among his brethren. While Baal was brute force and Mephisto insidious malice, Diablo was something more profound. He was the creeping shadow in the corner of your eye, the whisper of doubt that gnawed at your soul, the sudden heart-stopping panic in the dead of night. He understood fear. He was fear. His very existence was a monument to terror. From the moment of his birth, the cosmos knew a new kind of evil, an intelligent, patient, all-consuming dread. The Lord of Terror had arrived. Diablo, Lord of Terror. His name alone could freeze the blood. He was not merely a demon, a creature of fire and brimstone. No. He was terror incarnate, the very concept of fear given form. His crimson skin, a canvas of nightmares. Jagged horns tore at the sky. His eyes, twin embers of eternal malice. He saw into the deepest recesses of the heart. He knew your hidden dread, your secret shames, and he would use them. He would twist them. He would make you break from within. This was his art. His dark, terrible gift. His brothers, Mephisto and Baal, commanded their own domains of evil, hatred, destruction. They were mighty, they were terrible. But Diablo's power was more insidious, more personal. Hatred could be defied, destruction could be rebuilt from, but terror. Terror was a cancer of the soul. It spread silently, it paralyzed, it consumed everything. Diablo did not always need brute force. His greatest weapon was the mind itself. He could turn courage into cowardice, hope into utter desolation. He delighted in the slow, agonizing crumble of a hero's spirit. He was a master strategist, cunning beyond measure. While his brothers might rage and storm, Diablo would wait. He would observe, he would plan. He understood that true victory was not just about crushing an enemy, it was about breaking them, utterly, completely. He sought to make his victims complicit in their own downfall, to make them choose despair. This made his victories all the sweeter, his influence a creeping cold that seeped into the very fabric of existence. He was patient, he was relentless. His uniqueness lay in this profound understanding of mortal and immortal frailties. He knew that fear was the great leveler. Angels, demons, humans, all could feel its icy touch, all could be broken by it. He did not just inspire fear, he fed on it. Each trembling heart, each whispered prayer of desperation made him stronger. He was a vortex, drawing all terror towards himself, amplifying it and unleashing it back upon a screaming world. Al Diabolos, the name meant terror, and he lived up to it in every terrible way. The eternal conflict raged, an endless war between heaven and hell, angels against demons. For millennia, the prime evils led the demonic legions, Diablo, Mephisto, Baal. Their names were bywords for devastation. They fought with unholy fury. They carved paths of ruin through angelic hosts. Yet the war was a stalemate, a bloody, unending cycle of violence. Victory remained elusive. The high heavens stood defiant. The celestial warriors, though battered, never broke. This endless struggle began to wear on the denizens of hell. Within the burning hells, discontent festered. The lesser evils, Asmodean, lord of sin, and Belial, lord of lies, grew ambitious. They saw the prime evils focus on the high heavens as a distraction, a pointless obsession. They believed the war was unwinnable. They craved power for themselves. They whispered of a new way. A way to achieve ultimate victory, not through endless battle, but through a different conquest. The prime evils, lost in their ancient hatred, did not see the betrayal taking root in their own domain. The coup was swift, vicious. Asmodean and Belial rallied many demons to their cause. They promised an end to the futile war. They promised new glories. They turned against their masters. The prime evils, weakened by eons of conflict and caught by surprise, were overthrown. A great schism tore through hell. The unthinkable had happened. Diablo and his brothers, the architects of so much dread, found themselves outmaneuvered, defeated, not by angels, but by their own kind. The irony was a bitter pill. The lesser evils, fearing their former masters, chose not to destroy them. Perhaps they could not. Instead, they banished them, exiled them from the burning hells, cast them out. Weakened and disembodied, the prime evils were hurled into the void. They drifted, lost, until they sensed a new power, a nascent world hidden between heaven and hell, sanctuary, the world of mortals. Here they thought they could regroup. Here they could sow new seeds of terror. Their exile was not an end. It was a new, terrifying beginning. Sanctuary, a world born of renegade angels and demons, a world meant to be free from the eternal conflict. Here humanity flourished, unaware of the cosmic war that surrounded them. But the arrival of the exiled prime evils shattered this fragile peace. Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal, though weakened, were still forces of immense evil. Their ethereal forms sought purchase. They needed vessels. They needed to spread their influence, and humanity, with its burgeoning emotions, its fears, its desires, was fertile ground for their dark designs. Diablo, ever the patient manipulator, began his work subtly. He could not manifest his full power, not yet, so he whispered. He sent tendrils of influence into the minds of the vulnerable. He preyed on ambition, on greed, on despair. He promised power to those who would listen. He fostered paranoia. He turned neighbor against neighbor. He understood that the corruption of a single soul could ripple outwards, tainting communities, then nations. His touch was like a slow-acting poison, unseen until it was too late. Cults began to form, secret societies dedicated to the worship of these dark, unseen powers. The Triune was one such prominent cult. They worshipped the Three. They spread their master's dark gospel. They performed unspeakable rites. They sought to pave the way for the prime evil's return to power in the mortal realm. Diablo, through these loyal followers, began to amass influence. He learned about humanity. He studied their fears. He found them so wonderfully easy to manipulate. Their belief gave him strength. Their terror nourished him. The corruption spread like a plague. Towns fell into shadow. Hearts grew cold. Hope dwindled. Diablo's whispers became a chorus of dread across Sanctuary. He did not need to conquer with armies of demons. Not at first. He conquered with ideas, with fear. He turned humanity against itself. He showed them the darkness that lurked within their own hearts. He nurtured it. He made it bloom. The Lord of Terror was slowly, methodically, wrapping Sanctuary in his chilling embrace. The stage was being set for a more direct, more horrifying intervention. Deep beneath the earth, the prime evils were imprisoned. Contained within soul stones by the Haradrim, an order of mages dedicated to protecting humanity. Diablo's soul stone, the crimson gem pulsing with malevolent energy, was buried beneath a forgotten monastery. For centuries it lay dormant, but its power, its evil, seeped into the land. The monastery eventually crumbled. The town of Tristram was founded nearby. Its people lived simple lives, unaware of the ancient terror sleeping beneath their feet. Ignorance was a fragile shield. Then came King Leoric, a noble monarch from the east. He chose Tristram as his seat of power. He converted the old monastery into a cathedral, a grand gesture. But Diablo's influence was already at work. The Soul Stone's dark emanations began to twist Leoric's mind. He grew paranoid, cruel. His descent into madness was swift and terrible. He saw enemies everywhere. He declared unjust wars. He executed loyal subjects. The light in his eyes faded, replaced by a chilling emptiness. The Lord of Terror was stirring. Archbishop Lazarus, Leoric's most trusted advisor, was the first to fall completely under Diablo's sway. He became the demon's willing servant. When Leoric's madness became too great, and his knights finally turned against him, Lazarus saw his chance. He convinced the desperate king that his youngest son, Prince Albrecht, was the key to salvation. Instead, he led the innocent boy into the labyrinth beneath the cathedral, straight into Diablo's grasp, a terrible sacrifice, a horrifying betrayal. The prince was to be the vessel. Diablo's essence poured into the young prince. The child's body twisted, warped, became a monstrous parody of life. Horns tore through his skull, his skin turned crimson. The Lord of Terror was reborn, manifested in the flesh. The catacombs beneath Tristram became a slaughterhouse. Demons poured forth, the townspeople screamed, hope died, heroes rose to challenge the darkness, but Diablo, seated on his throne of bone in the heart of the labyrinth, reveled in the fear he had unleashed. Tristram had become his playground of pain. A brave hero eventually descended into the depths of Tristram's cursed cathedral. They fought through hordes of demonic creatures. They faced unspeakable horrors. Finally, they confronted Diablo in his terrifying Albrecht-possessed form. The battle was legendary, a clash of mortal will against pure, unadulterated terror. Against all odds, the hero struck the final blow. Diablo's physical form crumbled. The demon roared in agony, but his spirit, his essence, remained, trapped within the soul stone lodged in the prince's forehead. The hero, Aidan, Prince Albrecht's elder brother, made a fateful decision. He believed he could contain the Lord of Terror. He believed his will was strong enough. He plucked the bloodied soul stone from Diablo's shattered brow. With a cry of grim determination, he pressed it into his own forehead. He would bear the burden. He would keep the world safe, a noble sacrifice. A terrible mistake, for Diablo's power was far greater than any mortal could comprehend. The corruption began almost immediately, a slow, insidious poisoning of the soul. Aidan became the Dark Wanderer, a haunted figure driven by a compulsion he could not understand. He journeyed east towards his brothers. Diablo, even as a whisper in his mind, controlled him, twisted his thoughts, fed his despair. Everywhere the Wanderer went, corruption followed. Demons rose in his wake. The land sickened. People fell prey to nightmares. He was a harbinger of doom, a walking plague of terror. His own body began to change, to reflect the evil he carried within. His quest was not his own. It was Diablo's, to find Mephisto and Baal, to free them from their own prisons, to reunite the prime evils. The Wanderer's path was a trail of tears, a testament to Diablo's enduring influence. Even in defeat, the Lord of Terror found a way to continue his reign. He turned a hero into his puppet, a savior into an agent of destruction. The torment of the Dark Wanderer was a grim spectacle, a chilling reminder that Diablo's grasp was relentless, his cunning boundless. The journey east was a slow descent into hell itself. The Dark Wanderer, now fully consumed by Diablo, succeeded in his grim quest. Mephisto was freed from the Temple of Light in Kurast. Baal was unleashed from his prison beneath the sands of Aranok. The three prime evils were reunited. Their power, though diminished by their individual defeats, was still formidable. They plotted to corrupt the World Stone, the ancient artifact that shaped Sanctuary and shielded it from both heaven and hell. Their plan was audacious. Their goal to turn humanity into their demonic army. However, new heroes rose. They hunted the prime evils. They defeated Mephisto in his jungle lair. They pursued Diablo to the burning hells, and after a fierce battle at the Chaos Sanctuary, seemingly destroyed him once more. Baal, possessing the mage Tal Rasha, reached the World Stone, but he too was defeated, though at a terrible cost. The Archangel Tyrell was forced to shatter the World Stone, an act with unknown, far-reaching consequences. For a time it seemed the prime evils were truly gone. A fragile peace settled over Sanctuary, but evil finds a way. Adria, a seemingly loyal companion to the heroes, was revealed to be a servant of Diablo. For years, she had manipulated events, she had plotted. She had gathered the essences of all 7 great evils, including Diablo's. She trapped them within the Black Soulstone, her ultimate goal to resurrect Diablo not just as the Lord of Terror, but as the prime evil, a being embodying the power of all 7 lords of hell. Her own daughter Leah became the unwilling vessel for this monstrous rebirth. Diablo, now reborn as the singular prime evil, was more powerful than ever before. He was a maelstrom of hatred, destruction, sin, lies, pain, anguish and undiluted terror. His form was immense, apocalyptic. He shattered the boundaries between realms. He launched a devastating assault on the high heavens itself. The Silver City, bastion of angelic light, quaked under his demonic power. This was Diablo's ultimate triumph, his ascension. The Lord of Terror had become the embodiment of all evil, a threat to all creation. Diablo's powers are as varied as they are terrifying. His primary weapon, of course, is fear itself. He does not merely cause fear, he fear. He can paralyze his foes with sheer terror. He can conjure their deepest dread, making them see illusions of their lost loved ones, their greatest failures, their most secret shames. This psychological warfare is often more devastating than any physical blow. He breaks spirits before he breaks bodies. He revels in the symphony of screams, the chorus of despair that heralds his presence. His physical manifestations are equally horrifying. He commands hellfire with contemptuous ease. Geysers of flame erupt at his will. Walls of fire trap his enemies. He can summon bone prisons, cages of jagged bone that spring from the ground, immobilizing his victims for a gruesome end. Shadowy tendrils whip out from his form, seeking to ensnare and crush. His claws can rend steel and stone. His roars can shatter mountains. He is a vortex of destructive energy, a crimson nightmare given monstrous form. Possession is another of Diablo's favored tools. He can insinuate his essence into the minds of mortals and even angels. Prince Albrecht, King Leoric, the hero Aidan, Leah, each was a testament to his corrupting influence. He turns strength into weakness, virtue into vice. He hollows out his victims from within, leaving behind only a puppet dancing to his infernal tune. This ability to turn champions of light into agents of darkness is one of his most chilling and effective tactics. No one is truly safe from his insidious touch. Beyond these, Diablo possesses a terrifying resilience, an apparent immortality. He has been defeated countless times, struck down by heroes imprisoned in soul stones, yet he always returns. His essence is tied to the very fabric of fear. As long as there is terror in the hearts of sentient beings, Diablo can find a way back. He is a cyclical nightmare, an eternal recurrence. Each defeat is merely a setback, a temporary slumber before he rises again, often stronger, more cunning and hungrier for terror than before. Diablo, the Lord of Terror, may be cast down, his physical form shattered, his schemes thwarted. But his influence is eternal. He is more than just a demon lord. He is an idea, a fundamental aspect of existence. As long as sentient beings feel fear, Diablo has a foothold. As long as there is doubt, despair, or hopelessness, his shadow lingers. He is the darkness that waits at the edge of the light, the chill that runs down your spine in an empty room, the whisper that tells you are not strong enough. His defeats are but ripples in the vast ocean of the eternal conflict. He has patience born of eons. He has cunning sharpened by countless battles. He knows that mortals are frail, that even angels can fall. He waits in the spaces between moments, in the silence after a scream. His essence seeps back into the world like a stain that can never be fully cleansed. Each time he is vanquished, it is a victory hard won, but never truly final. For terror is a seed that can sprout in any heart. The fight against Diablo is a constant vigil. It requires unwavering courage, unshakable hope. It demands that heroes rise again and again to face the embodiment of their deepest fears. For if they falter, if they succumb to the dread he so expertly wields, then all is lost. Sanctuary, the high heavens, all realms, would fall under his nightmarish dominion. He is the ultimate test, the final adversary, the reflection of the darkness that lies within all things. He is the fear that must be confronted, so beware. When the shadows lengthen, when whispers of doubt creep into your mind, when despair threatens to consume you, remember Diablo, remember the Lord of Terror, for he is always there, lurking, waiting, feeding on every flicker of fear. His influence is a subtle poison, ever present, ever threatening. He is the eternal nightmare, and he will always seek to return. The true battle against Diablo is fought not just on blood-soaked fields, but within the very heart of every soul. And that battle never truly ends.